Raptors have signed Nick Nurse to a multi-year contract extension. Nurse, of course, named Coach of the Year last month. And Raptors president Masai Ujiri says our confidence in Nick just continues to grow. Kendrick, I know you love this Raptors team this season. What do you expect to see from Nurse going forward?
I expect him to be who he is, Rachel, and that's a great coach. The Coach of the Year. I was just trying to figure out what took him so long to back the Brinks truck up. He been deserving. He should have got the contract extension right after he won the championship last year. Nick Nurse put this year's Raptor team in a position where no one thought they would be, probably except for yours truly, me. But, hey, I'm happy for Nick Nurse. Well deserved.
Yeah, no, I'm extremely happy. Nick Nurse is one of the best coaches in the league. Ultimately, I think he did a better job coaching this year than he did last year, so that's impressive by him.
Absolutely. All right, the NBA has moved this year's draft. It's official now, November 18th. The new date allows the league maximum time to iron out the salary cap situation, gives teams more time to facilitate trades around the draft and free agency. The league said the date is, quote, subject to change as circumstances warrant, which, I mean, in 2020 has to go at the end of every sentence. Richard, how much are you looking forward to the draft, though?
I'm looking forward to the draft because you got the Golden State Warriors that have a very high pick, and you want to see, you got Ball. You got a lot of players out there that can make some impacts, and help decide what's going to happen next year in the NBA.
Yeah, I'm right there, Richard. I'm right there with you, RJ. I'm looking forward to see what Philly and the New York Knicks are going to do. Knowing that, Kyle Lowry, I've been hearing rumors that he might be heading to Philly, maybe Toronto land, LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is the stud in this draft, in my opinion, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Kendrick watches the draft like no other analyst we have at the pro level. I'm excited for it. All right, guys, this is what my time. Hey, watch. Oh, yes. Bring it out. Come on, you got to bring out the Photoshop. No, the producers, they don't love me. Gordon Hayward was out last. There we go. They do love me. They do.
Oh,
he was out last night as he continued his recovery from an ankle sprain. Brad Stevens says he's expected back at some point in the Eastern Conference Finals. And on Monday, he said he looked, quote, good doing a hard workout. So, Kendrick, how could Gordon Hayward help your Celtics team against the Heat?
Well, Rachel, they're my Celtic team at heart, but I'm riding with the Goon Squad. But Gordon Hayward could help them. Gordon Hayward could help them off the bench. Right now, the way that Marcus Smart is playing, he's playing like the MVP of that team. He's been the most consistent, and I just don't see Brad taking them out of the starting lineup. So I see Brad bringing in Hayward off the bench to bring in a spark.
Man, we can't just gloss over his Wyatt Earp Doc Holliday mustache. That thing is gorgeous, Gordon. Good for you. I wish I could grow that type of mustache. But look, coming off the bench would be great. Those 10 to 15 minutes until he builds up, the ability to really play big minutes, that's what they should do. But those guys need it. They have so many guys that are playing 39-plus minutes. That break would be huge for those guys.
Absolutely. All right, guys, I want to revisit the Clippers, who, of course, blew a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets, in case you haven't heard enough about that by now. This was considered to be a championship roster. So, Perk, where do the Clippers go from here? What changes, if any, are necessary?
The bench. You gotta change the bench. Reggie Jackson gotta go, Montrezl Harrell gotta go, and Lou Will gotta go. None of those guys provided the production that the Clippers needed. Lou Will was MIA for the entire playoffs, and Reggie Jackson had got benched a couple of times where he got DMP. So they need to look to upgrade their bench. I'm sorry, Lou Will just don't have it anymore.
Perk, I love you to death. You my guy. But did you just say they need to replace the 2 6 men of the year, like the last? Look, they don't need to make any changes. What they need to do is they need to just run it back. I believe that this team has all the talent to run it back. They need to have some more continuity. They need to work on some things. But Doc Rivers is a great coach. They have a very good bench, and they have a ton of talent up top. But they all need to play better, and Doc needs to actually do some more improvements and adjustments.
No, this is not a popularity contest, RJ. Just because they have the household names,
I mean,
that
look,
don't
part of
make
the question
them good,
about whether
okay?
you replace
That don't
Montrez
make
or
them
Lou
good.
is who are you replacing them with?
No
They
one.
just don't have that much flexibility to do that kind of thing right now because they gave all their future picks to Oklahoma City. Their salary is, you know, that cap is all stacked up. Now, they would have a mid-level exception, but it's not a great free agency class coming out. They have a couple pieces they could move around, but that's always my question when people say, we need to change the coach, we need to change the bench, we need to change the players. Who are you changing them for? So it's going to be a tricky problem.
There's no one, Rach. There's no one, Rach. What you got to do is you got to allow this team to grow, like a lot of championships teams do. You look at the Miami Heat, and they lost in the finals, and then they went to 3 more finals, and they won 2 championships. You still have to give this team time to grow and to gel together.
No. When you form a super team, it's either championship
not in 1 year. Not in year one. It is championship or bust, but not in year one.
RJ, these guys are not in their 20s. We're talking about guys that are 30-plus years old, guys that are in double-digit years in the league. It's championship or bust. You think that Steve Ballmer traded away all those picks to bring in Paul George to say that this year was just a sample size type thing and we're going to wait till next year? No, their expectations this year was to win a championship.
It can be that this year was a huge disappointment and the prescription to try to change things for next year isn't to tear up the whole thing. Those two things can be true simultaneously. And again, to me, it just depends on what your options are. I'm not saying that the Clippers front office can't pull a rabbit out of its hat. We've certainly seen them do that before. But it will be a challenge. It is a challenge to move pieces around, especially right now for this team this offseason. I do want to get to the team that is advancing in the Western Conference Finals. Nuggets guard Jamal Murray called out the media after the win last night. Take a listen.
You got Shaq, you got Charles, you got, I think Zach Lowe's his name, I don't even know. Stephen A, all y'all better start giving this team some damn respect because we put in the work and we got a resilient team and, you know, we shouldn't have been down 3-1, but you know, to come back from 3-1 against the Clippers, it was a big achievement.
Richard, I'm supposed to ask you after that, how worried should the Lakers be about the Nuggets? But that was your young rookie when you were in Denver. What do you have to say to that?
Well, let me say this. A couple of things. One, he is right and he is wrong at the exact same time. Jamal, you know my feelings towards you. But this is the thing. You had a chance to go to the postseason and you lost in a single game situation against Minnesota. Then the next year you go and you're up 3-2 and you have a Game 7 at home and you lose to a shorthanded Portland Trailblazer. Then you're down 3-1 to the Utah Jazz. Then you go and understandably you're down 3-1 to the Clippers. So it's not like we haven't been given a sample size of why people should question whether or not you guys can finish this stuff off. But he is right. They need to start believing in what this team can do. And me personally, this is how concerned they should be. Jamal, you want people to start going to bat for you? I'll be the first one to fall on that sword. And I'm going to say the Denver Nuggets are going to win this series in 7.
Richard Jefferson.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because this is the thing. If they're tired of people not giving them the credit, then I'll be the first one in the media to give you guys credit and say, I believe that you guys can make it to the NBA Finals, and I believe that it's going to be done in 7 games.
What do you got, Perk?
Well, I believe you're dead wrong. You and Jamal Murray, and I got much respect for Jamal Murray. I think that he's a baby Gilbert Arenas. His game mimics Gilbert Arenas. I think Jokic is the best center of the league, but they're about to face LeBron James, who's the best player in the world, and Anthony Davis, who's the best power forward in the world. With all that championship experience and playoff Rondo, I got the Lakers in 6.
The Lakers in 6? Okay. Well, I got the Nuggets in 7. They have not given me any reason to doubt them thus far in the postseason, other than being down 3-1 a couple of times. But I'm going to be the first one in the media to give them credit and say that they can do this in 7.
See, 2 good takes. I like both of those takes. Up next, we're breaking down an epic Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Should we expect the Heat to keep rolling? Stick around to find out.
Ta-da!